This is the bay that I'm looking to use for our, well, the major inner workings of our solar install. Got some stuff here. This is one of two pass-throughs on the other side. That's the driver's side that you're looking at over there. This is the passenger side right here. This is a pretty big pass-through basement storage, but then this other side is also a pass-through, but it has a full length slide that goes, a sliding tray that goes from one side to the other. So I'm thinking of possibly putting the batteries up on a raised platform to kind of be used by, using that rail. This is a raised rail chassis, so this is nice to have a rail that I can mount like a tray onto, and then maybe block this area off with a piece of plywood and install inverters and all the circuit breakers and shut off switches there. So we'll see. I've got a 3D mock-up that I'll show you. I was thinking about putting it up in this area, putting the batteries up in this area, but you can kind of see it's taken over by a bunch of stuff for the slide and leveling jacks. I think that's like a leveling jack computer up in there. And over there is our electrical cord bay where we plug into a pedestal. So I don't really want to put too much stuff over there because a lot of potential to get stuff knocked around. So I can protect some stuff around here and build like an enclosure and just kind of rearrange all this stuff that we have in the slide out. Some of the stuff we don't really use, like this is a mat we used for a cot that we had. This is the bunk bed ladder that the kids don't really use. They just kind of climb up on the bunk. So we definitely use the grill sometimes. I think that stuff over there is like those are life preserver jackets. So we may not use those if we go out in the desert. So anyway, I think we're going to use this area. I'll show you a 3D mock-up on what I have on SketchUp. So I just showed you the bays that we're using for the solar install. As you can see, it's kind of a nice. That's our old dishwasher we're getting rid of. That's another story. We'll tell you that in a different video. Nice winter day here in Iowa. I want to show you something we got here recently. Just got this shipment in last night. 4 solar panels. Let me pull this aside so you can see. We got 4 panels, or I think they're 325 watts each, so they're pretty big. Take a look at the business end of the solar panels here. We got 4 of them. Somehow they're going to fit up on the roof. When it gets nice and warm enough, above freezing. Right now it's like in the high 20s, so that'll be fun. And this is the rest of the solar system. Well, it's not even the rest of it because we got 6 100 amp hour batteries. Each of them are 12 volts. I'm going to be wiring this up in a 24 volt configuration. Got some components there. We're doing 2 inverters. Let me pull this out of the way with my little balance board. Got 2 3000 watt inverters. I've been watching some videos on how to do this stuff, and basically if I want to run the entire RV like it was no big deal, then I need 2 of those for each side of the legs. Got a whole bunch of cables and wires and other stuff in here. That's like some kind of transformer, something or other. That's a solar controller. And that's like a current surge limiter, something or other. I got specifications and schematics and all that stuff, but there's a few other things that were back ordered, so I'm still waiting on those too. So this is not even everything, but I can get started on it. Alright, so what I have here is a program I've used in the past. I'm not really a master at it. It's called SketchUp. Some of you out there watching may have used this also in the past. If you're familiar with like AutoCAD or some kind of computer-aided design, this is kind of like a poor man's version of AutoCAD. So what I did earlier, before it got too cold this winter, was I went on my RV roof and I measured everything out. And I did a rough sketch of my RV roof. So this is the front of the RV. Right here is what would be a mock-up of where the satellite dish is, and this is where the TV antenna is. This big block right here is the front air conditioner unit on the roof, and I think this is the vent fan for the kitchen. And then the rear air conditioner unit right here in the middle, and then I think this is a vent fan for the mid bath, a skylight for the shower, and then back here is I think another vent fan for the rear bathroom, and the skylight for the shower in the rear bath. So what I did was I measured everything out, and then I took the specs for the solar panels, the four panels that I have. They're 325 watts each, and I did a mock-up of where I would be able to place the 4 panels and still have enough room to walk up on the roof and get around and do whatever kind of maintenance I have. So um, so as you can see, they all fit pretty nicely. I can probably move some around to give myself a little bit more room. Maybe scoot this one here a little bit towards the front of the RV. Maybe move this one a little bit closer to this air conditioner unit. But a good thing in SketchUp that if you're not familiar with is you can replicate shadows on whatever model you have. So the way this is situated right now, I think right here facing this way is south. This is east. This green line going this way is north, and I think going this way is west. So if you go to this little eyeglass option here, you can see this is the views or display. And if you have shadows on, you can kind of see I have some shadows built in right here. And today's the 29th of January, and let's bring it back to right when the sun comes up around 7 o'clock in the morning. As you can see, pretty long shadows coming from the southeast, and you can kind of see that some of the solar panels are obstructed. As you can see here, about half of this panel is obstructed, and maybe a little corner here. But as the sun rises and gets higher in the sky, you can kind of see the shadows shift. And about 11 o'clock, you pretty much have full sun on the solar panels. There's high noon right here, and then going towards the afternoon, you can kind of see the shadows moving across. You can kind of see some blockage starting to happen here on this panel from this air conditioner unit. And then as the sun sets around 5 o'clock or so, you can kind of see that pretty much the entire RV is covered in shadows because it's nighttime. So that's what would happen on January 29th. If I move it to the middle of the summer, let's say July or so, let's do 4th of July. 4th of July, as you can see, the sun comes up a little bit sooner, maybe a little higher in latitude. So now the shadows are coming across from the east, and you're getting a little bit of blockage here at 5:30 in the morning. But around 8 o'clock, you can kind of basically see that we're getting almost full sun. You got a little bit of corner blocked off here, and a little bit of a chunk blocked off here. And these are rough approximations of our RV roof anyway. So it's not like this whole thing is a big block. These air conditioner units are curved in the front. This vent fan is curved, so I'm not too worried about that. And as you can see, as the day goes on, around 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you get full sun. And you pretty much get full sun until right about here, 2:30 in the afternoon. You start getting a little bit of blockage in this corner of this panel. And then going on, the good news is that these 2 panels back here are still getting full sun at 4:23 in the afternoon. So it's a pretty neat tool to see if you want to lay out your panels and see how they might fit, first of all, and then second of all, how the sun and shadows affect how much blockage you get from your different air conditioning units and things on top. And will eventually drive your decision to maybe if you want to tilt your panels. These are just flat mounted, or they will be flat mounted. I'm not going to plan on tilting them. They got plenty of wattage on the panels. So and if I continue to park, if we were to boondock, park in this east-west orientation, basically you'll have pretty good coverage of the different solar panels with the sun. So try it out. SketchUp. It's it's a little bit complicated. Once you get used to it, though, it starts to get pretty intuitive. I'm sure you can probably watch a few videos on how to use it, but it's a pretty cool tool. This is a web-based version of it, so it's free. All you have to do is just basically set up an account, and then you can do different things. So I'm going to show you the electrical bay part of it next, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so here's a mock-up of what I came up with for that electrical bay in our basement storage area. After I took some measurements, I went out there earlier in the week and took some rough measurements of where things are at, um, and kind of laid it out. As you can see here, let me pull up this this tool and kind of rotate it around for you. As you can see, you can kind of do a 3D representation, and you can manipulate views and stuff on SketchUp. It's pretty cool. I'm not endorsed by SketchUp at all, so I like using this tool. So as you can see, this is that one bay that we have from the passenger side. So over here is the passenger side, over here is the driver's side. So and then we have the two raised rails that are kind of the main supports of the RV that are coming through here. These big white pillars, I guess. This block right here is our integrated vacuum system. So it's a Dirt Devil vacuum system. So that's kind of where the canister goes. It's kind of mounted on the wall. And then this other block right here is the I think the transfer switch that kind of switches between external power generator and the inverter, I think, to power some parts of the electrical systems of the coach. So what I did as I took these rough measurements, sketched out a 3D representation of that bay. This little wall right here is kind of the dividing line between this bay and the bay next to it. If you remember from the videos I posted earlier in this one, this is the one with the full slide out that comes out with a bunch of storage stuff on it. And I'm looking to use this part of the bay to kind of put our guts of our solar system in there. Another cool thing about SketchUp is if you go into this little area right here, components, you can actually type in, there's a 3D warehouse. You can type, what I typed in was Battle-Born batteries. Let me just do that now. Battle-Born batteries. Let's do that. And you can actually see someone, this Dev Bones, actually made up a 3D model of a Battle-Born battery, and you can download it and import it into your model. So what I did was I copied 6 batteries because I have 6 of them. I also typed in Victron 3000 watt multiplex inverter, and I got 2 of those, one here and one here. And I've got a solar controller, charge controller here mounted on the wall. So what I was initially thinking was possibly mounting a tray between these 2 rails and setting the batteries between the 2 rails. But as you saw in some of the photos and some of the video that I took earlier, there's a lot of components that are up here in the root in the ceiling of this bay, specifically for the leveling system as well as some of the slide outs. So I'm going to rethink this and possibly put the batteries somewhere else. And then I was thinking, just for kind of symmetry, let me scroll this around, putting one inverter on this side and one inverter on this side. But I may rethink that now and kind of move everything to, for ease of use and ease of installation, maybe put everything here, maybe put a tray here to house the batteries, and then putting the inverters, like putting a piece of plywood where this little wall thing is that I'm going to install, putting the inverters on there, or maybe putting another wall. This is all open underneath, putting another wall back here to put another inverter and plus some other of the other components. So more to follow on this one. Let me do some thinking on this, but I wanted to show you what I was thinking as far as my solar system upgrade for this first video in the series of my solar install. Hope you like it, and I'll talk to you guys later.